Guys doing? This is Mark. You know me from my series on how to pay off your car loan in 36 months without giving up Starbucks or being cheap. I've seen some of you watching my video on what will have my car loan down to $5,970. I want you to go back and watch those. Go back and watch the ones where I talked about the fulfillment centers. I know it looks like all the fulfillment centers are full and stuff, but right now we're in the eye of the hurricane. Once we come out of the end of this hurricane, like 5,000 stewardesses were laid off. That's not counting 33,000 people who were laid off at Macy's at the beginning of the year before all of this happened. So I know it looks like all these fulfillment centers are hiring. They're not really hiring. They're just bringing back some of the people they put on furlough. And I can tell in the morning they're driving off fast, which means they haven't been there a while. They ain't had any hours, so they're trying to get there. So don't be fooled, but go back and watch some of my videos back 2014, 2015. See what kind of economy is in. Well, I could just go to Craigslist, pick up a job, go do something. Hey, I could work for an event company. I could work for a 5K company. I worked the Margarita Fun Run, Donut Run last year, made over like $200 almost. And now this year, just like, now what is it? We are like under lockdown. So I'm going to get to that in a minute. So go back, watch those videos because those are good. Because one thing they'll teach you is like you just have to like the strategy is when I made that one video on paying off your small bills faster. Is it teaches you got to like sometimes you can't take a big bite. Pay off that $5 bill you owe, $10 bill. Why don't you pay that like me? I'm gonna pay off that $142 dentist bill I owe. Pay off I'm gonna send people their money. Just give people their money. So you guys have convinced me. When it comes time, I'm going to pay the dentist their money. Once I find out how much it is, I'm going to pay it. And then I don't want any handouts. Don't want any handouts from the government. So watch those videos because what it just teaches you sometimes. I mean, I had a student loan over $93,000. It's down to $31,789. $3,000 from Uncle Trump ain't going to help you, man. Some of you guys are home teleworking and stuff. Some of you ain't coming back. It's going to be easier to get rid of a person who is at home supposedly telecommuting than it was be a person in front of me. At least if you get in front of me or I hear you on the phone, I say, I can see that guy. He does this, he does that, but he's all right guy. Person at home telecommuting or doing what kind of weird stuff, you're done. So if your company sets you home and you think you're going to work from home, you will be working from home for another company because your company will get rid of you. But let's get on to what it is. Today is Conspiracy Theory Weekend for me. I've been thinking about this because I love politics. I used to work at the election precincts. I used to call on the phone sometimes for candidates. And I pass out flyers. So I just have like a little insight into it because I was a Democrat. Then I became a Republican. Then I was a Republican, became a Democrat. Now I'm sort of like a hybrid right now. So this is what I'm thinking right now. The C virus has been around since last year. We all can admit that. It's been around. So all of a sudden, the governors on all these states, all of a sudden, it's become a crisis that this C virus. It's okay that there's a virus. It doesn't mean that you're going to get it. Even if you say 1,300 people died, divide that by 50, that's 30 people per state. They kill, people die. I was about to say, couples kill more. You have more murder-suicides than you have, virus deaths. You have more drunk driving deaths than you have virus deaths. You have more workplace shootings than you have virus deaths. So why is all of a sudden it's like a big thing? Well, my theory is that the goal of the Democratic Party, I like the Democrats, but kind of like they've lost that base because their focus was in the old days, they were able to go to the older black people and like talk to them about the 1960s and stuff and rally them to get them. But like my grandmother, she's passed away. So that generation is gone. So now they're like kind of redirect. So now their philosophy, let's try to focus on maybe the middle class and the poor. People don't have money and they're trying to just fix that as their base. And I think the strategy was, if they release the C virus, the virus is already there. So what they're doing now makes no sense at all. Even they say, well, we don't know the exact numbers, but we just want to have high numbers. If you were a doctor and gave that diagnosis to a patient, well, based on my studies, I really don't know. I haven't done a test. I'm going to make a guess. Hey, if you got a year to live, hey, you may live more. Go for it. Later, pay your bill. That's basically what they've been saying. We're going to keep the numbers high, but we don't really know the actual numbers. What is that? You tell me, what is that? What happened is this. Bernie Sanders. The Democratic Party underestimated Bernie Sanders. My conspiracy theory is the goal was to release the C virus, probably not get to this level of like fear and stuff, but just have enough where people could say, well, Trump's not paying attention to this. Trump's not paying attention to that. Look at all these sick people. And then I would have set it up for Biden to have a competitive chance in an election. But Bernie stayed in the race, won states. So as that was going along, they underestimated the rate at which the virus would grow. So then they started saying, well, let's limit the gatherings to 50, to 2, to 1, to 3, to 4. But Bernie kept winning. So now we kind of hit this tipping point where now Bernie was close enough to Biden where we can't claim Biden as the overall candidate for the Democratic Party. And now, but what happened was the virus accelerated past their estimates. So there's no clear-cut Democratic favorite. It's Bernie and Biden. People are like saying, well, what's going on here? And now you have a Democratic Party where the governors are locking down states, telling people to stay home. Because now the goal is they've messed up. They underestimated. Bernie stayed in. That threw off their plans to get the Biden into the office. So now they're just doing damage control. And the only way they can do damage control is numbers and deaths. Even if the deaths compared to like, I don't want to get started on certain things. Let me start it. But trust me, thousands of people die and it has nothing to do with a virus every year. You have thousands of suicides. And so what it means, people, like how many suicides? You may have 20 or 30,000. So you're going to outlaw guns. You're going to outlaw pills. You're going to outlaw this, outlaw that. So this philosophy makes no sense at all. So what I'm thinking is like they probably have someone in the back room. Well, what you can do is like we'll put the parents and kids at home together and we'll try to increase the numbers of like the potential people that will get sick. So at least if we have a big number, it'll show like we did something. If some people die, that's fine. And the reason I know this is true because I grew up in the inner city. And the one thing about the inner city is what you learn is if you commit a crime, you know, the gangsters, kill people, kill witnesses. What you don't want is you don't need to leave any witnesses. And that's why with all these healthcare workers, what did you find out in LA? They actually have new masks somewhere and they're telling the people to reuse them. You know why? Because they got to get rid of the witnesses. You can't have any witnesses to the crime. Why do you want to have a ship and put all these healthcare workers on there to like supposedly rest? You know why? More apart. Hey, we can expose them in the hotel, expose them in the hospital. We'll expose them on the ship. We'll make them reuse their products. Those are 3 things right there. So that's 3 times more. They'll potentially get the virus. And if we're lucky, some of them will die to help the numbers and show we did something. So basically, if you're like a healthcare worker and they're making you reuse your mask, go home, put a gun to your head because you are just they're already killed. You're doing their job for them. So they're having you kill yourself to make them look good. Because when you have a crime, you can't have any witnesses. So watch that in the next couple of days. And so what happened now is like now we just have like the governors are freaking out. The Rhode Island governor doesn't want to let New York people in. Wait till that shit ends. New York may bomb them or bomb Rhode Island or something. So basically all these governors are just scrambling. They don't know any data. Most of them are Democratic leaning. And now they're just freaked out. They're just spinning now. There's no scientific evidence to back up anything they say. They're just trying to it's over. They've like, okay, we've lost the Democratic election. Let's just kill all the people who haven't voted for us, who didn't like us. So maybe some rumor will go in the future, vote Democrat or at least virus into the environment. So what do you guys think? That's my conspiracy theory. My theory was the Democratic Party wanted to release the C virus in order to get a bunch of people sick, hoping that Biden would be the lead Democratic candidate so they can combine him with being an alternative, with Trump possibly not being diligent on the virus, and that was going to be their way to get to the White House. But unfortunately, Bernie Sanders stayed in the race long enough where they lost control of what was going on with the virus dialogue, and the Republicans got hold of it, where they had to start saying, well, you have these numbers and maybe we should have people stay home. And now let's infect the kids and the parents by putting them together. So that's my conspiracy. I think the Democrats knew about the virus all along. They let it gestate. The philosophy was to get Biden through, but it all failed. And now we're in this mess that we have now. Subscribe, comment, like. Tell me your conspiracy theory. I think the healthcare workers, they're basically collateral damage. They're witnesses to be removed. And that's why they have to reuse their masks. That's why they're making them stay together, because they want to get rid of them. They want them to get sick and they want them to die. The less healthcare workers who survive, who helped all these people, the less stories you have, the less things you'll find out that were really going on. So let me know. Comment, subscribe, like. Comment, subscribe, like. MARTCHING 2018 at gmail.com. Send me your conspiracy theories. I think it's the Democrats who released the C virus. That was to get back in office, but it failed. Maybe the Republicans released it. I wouldn't know how it helped them. But let me know. And then tomorrow I'll give you my toilet paper theory. And for you guys who are buying new toilet paper, if I were you, I would say don't buy the toilet paper they put back in the market, because you don't know, it could be laced with something. We'll talk about that later.